What are the core components of integrating psychedelic medicines like ayahuasca? This is a big topic. It's a question that came through recently on our channel, and I'm going to address it in a very general sense here. I do teach a course called Plant Medicine Integration Training, where I teach people to coach people through this process, because it is a huge undertaking and it is not something where there's a to-do list of do these things and you will be fully integrated. I'm not even sure full integration exists, as it is a process. But I want to talk about some core components, and they might not be what you expect. I will agree that in the integration phase, things like meditation and yoga and movement and connection with nature and all of those, of course, are essential. But for me, one of the most underrepresented and crucial elements of integration involves our existential awareness, involves our core relationship with suffering, actually. It's where I like to go with my clients pretty early on when they're in a rough state of integration, is to first define, how much do you trust suffering? How much do you trust this crazy world of duality that necessitates that we go through incredibly difficult challenges sometimes? Because if there is an energy of distrust, of resistance, of fear around the process of suffering, then that builds on itself exponentially. However, if we have the capacity to be spacious in our view of suffering, our view of death even, and recognize that it is just a rite of passage, that the act of suffering is a teacher, a profound teacher, then we can lean into the difficulties that may have been unearthed from a ceremony with medicines like ayahuasca, and we can much more efficiently and gracefully navigate these shadows. But if we don't trust it and we're resisting and we have deeply embedded stories around, feeling like we're being tortured instead of helped, that will permeate the experience of integration. So I love to explore the existential relationship that we're having to get people to maybe express a more expanded view so that we have a stronger foundation to go look at the details of what's being unearthed. Other essential elements of integration: creativity. I think we approach integration too often from the reflection of the mind. And that's like using a hammer to break a window and then trying to use that hammer to fix the window. It's the wrong tool. So what is the right tool? Well, it isn't the mind. So doing anything that gets out of the prison of the mind is incredibly helpful to bring in a sense of completion, a sense of insight and understanding around a big experience with psychedelics. And creativity is an incredible channel for that. Whether we dance, paint, sing, whether we write, whether we do anything to express ourselves creatively with our bodies, with our hands, with our voices, via visual art, making music, like you name it. There's so many different ways, taking pictures, that we can tap into our relationship with the muse. And it is one of those spaces where we get our hands off the wheel and sometimes, boom, the insights, the magic comes in. So creativity is a big component of integration. It may not seem directly connected or related, but it absolutely is. And another, to me, the most important part, if you're integrating a big experience, whether it's from psychedelics or life, is to have a foundational spiritual practice every single day, to show up for yourself, even if only for 5-10 minutes, and ask important questions like, how am I feeling today? What's really happening in my body? What is my body trying to communicate? Because if we don't flex that muscle of beingness on a regular basis, we're still stuck in the mind. We're just doing. And that isn't the essence of integration. Integration is a deep feeling of taking what happens in these spaces and permeating it into every cell of our beingness and feeling like we're walking in the world differently. That doesn't happen by staying here. So the last piece of integration that is absolutely essential that I'll mention today is the somatic relationship. In fact, I like to replace the word integration with embodiment. If we haven't embodied the lessons that have come in these incredibly potent spaces, then they're just swimming around in our little noggins, and a lot of good they're doing, right? So being in deep relationship with the body, movement and dance and breath work And that thing I mentioned earlier about listening to the communications of the body, helping to move any energies that still feel stuck. Like just having a fluid relationship with how your vessel is walking in the world. If you're not including your body in integration, you aren't integrated, you aren't embodied. So that is the most important element. What did I miss? What do you think is essential in integrating plant medicine experiences? Please drop it in the comments. Make sure to follow our Plant Medicine People channel and come back soon for more content. Be well out there, everybody. Thank you for listening.